Broadmeadow Magic. For your under 20s fixture this afternoon. Firstly, the Broadmeadow team. Number 11, Ethan Ajeski. Number 8, Jared Baker. 9, Tyron Cousins. 2, Josh Davis. 88, Emerson Gosling. 4, David Gilfield. 3, Adam Molinaric. 7, Keno Maravri. 10, Jaden Stewartson. 5, Taki Fushima. And number 6, Lewis Smith. Pre-Bears. Number 28, Michael Foster. 21, Jackson Lundy. 20, Jay Snedden. 35, Jamie Subak. 34, Bo Wilkins. 7, Angus Lathan. 22, Jet White. 38, Jack Camper. 26, Mark Hoffman. 30, Jackson Burston. And number 31, Max Foster. Good luck to both teams. Goal to Broadmeadow Magic, number 5, Taki Fujiyama. Making the score Weston 0, Broadmeadow Magic 1. goal to Broadmeadow, number 8, Jared Baker. Baker score Weston 0. Broadmeadow Magic 2. Half time in the under 20s game this afternoon. Sister scores at Weston Bears 0, Broadmeadow Magic 2. number 31 Max Foster and number 30 Jackson Burston have been replaced by number 32 Zach Skinner and number 27 Sam Bidstrop. Let's go to this. Number 26, Mark John Offu, making the score Weston 1, Broadmeadow Magic 2.
Get the one,
Golden Broadmeadow Magic, number 11, Ethan Ajewski. Making the score, Weston Bears 1, Broadmeadow Magic 3. A replacement for Broadmeadow Magic. Number 13, Jit Ken Jun. That's replaced number 4, David Ifield. 8, Jared Baker. Weston the best one. Broadmeadow 3.
Placing the Broadmeadow magic, number 12, Curtis Gucci, as the first, number 9, Tyrant
Next goal for Broadmeadow. Number 8, Jared Baker, making the score Weston Bears 1, Broadmeadow managing 5. Replacing for Weston, number 29, Lee Newsom is replacing number 28, Michael Foster. replacement from Broadmeadow Magic, number 15, Luke Wilson, has replaced number 11, Ethan Ajewski. Full time in the under-20s game. Final score, Weston Bears 1, Broadmeadow Magic 5.
Good afternoon and welcome to Rockwell Automation Park in Weston. It's round 19 of the NPL Northern New South Wales season as we begin the final month of the competition, and what a way to do so with the second placed Weston Bears up against third Broadmeadow Magic. And almost 4 years ago the scene was set here at Weston. There were 2 regular season matches to play and Broadmeadow Magic were in town. The winner would go on to play finals, while the loser's hopes of making the top 4 would be dashed. That afternoon, Luke Vigili scored, Magic won, and the rest is history. And it was the closest Weston have come in the last 5 seasons to playing finals. 4 years on, Weston and Broadmeadow are entrenched inside the top 4. So it would seem, but with both sides having matches in hand, nothing is certain, and 3 points are so very crucial. Victory for Weston and their finals dream is within touching distance, but defeat and those ghosts of 2015 may just begin awakening. We'll check the lineups for Weston. 2 changes from the team who beat Lambton 1-0 last Sunday in that emotion-charged match. Zach Snedden is out, Scott Carter as well, both suspended, and they're replaced by Tristan Esquilin and Zach Snedden and I should say Cooper Buswell respectively. And for Broadmeadow Magic, 1 change for Ruben Zadkovic's side, who announced during the week that he won't be at the club next season. The experienced John Griffiths is out. He's replaced by 19-year-old Jeremy Wilson. Beautiful conditions up here at Rockwell Automation Park, with the Weston looking to make it into the finals for the first time since 2014, when they made the grand final and went down to Lambton Jaffers. It's been a tough few years since then for Weston, but what a revival in 2019 under Q Yalins. And the man with possession on halfway, Jason Tienfu, hasn't scored in 5 matches though. He'll want to break that this afternoon against Broadmeadow Magic. He did score against them in their round 8 meeting. And we're underway in round 19 of the NPL Northern New South Wales. The final month is upon us, and Trevor Morris, this is a huge match in the context of both sides' seasons.
Yeah, it's a lot riding on it if you've got aspirations to the minor premiership, and both teams in good form, both teams like to get forward, so it should be a great game.
Great to have you alongside myself this afternoon with Chris Turner and Damien Smith. They're both AWOL. Thanks for stepping into the breach, and this will be a fascinating showdown.
I've heard CT and Damo don't travel out a 20-kilometre radius.
Exactly. And this is a wonderful ground to call from, high up in the grandstand at Weston. I'd say the best perspective in the competition to call from. Outstanding as Jeremy Wilson gets an early touch towards Liam Wilson. Plenty of youngsters out there on both sides of the coin. Jeremy Wilson filling in for John Griffiths this afternoon, 19-year-old. Here's Robbie Turnbull, a man at the opposite end of the scale in terms of youth. There's Tienfu trying to turn away from Wilson. Piddington just plants one over the sideline. These two meeting in round 8, and Trevor, plenty of goals in that particular match. Broadmeadow winning 5-3, 8 goals all round, and James Vigili looking for the first this afternoon.
Well, there was 2 goals scored in the first 2 minutes in that game, so it was one hell of a start.
So both sides a little bit slow out of the blocks this afternoon then in comparison.
They're just furling each other out.
Exactly. That one an early evening start. Caleb Cox distributing wide to Robbie Turnbull. Cox scored his first goal in the NPL in that match, as Lundy tried to link up with Turnbull. Ryan Ensor couldn't keep it inside the line. Yeah, Weston have won just once in their last 9 matches against Broadmeadow Magic. Should say their last 8, and that was last year here at Rockwell Automation Park. They won 2-1, a massive upset in round 4. Steve Piggott's side on that occasion. Ball bounces up off the turf quite oddly, and Tienfu couldn't bring it under his control. Nathan Morris, how good's he been in the last few weeks, Trevor? 5 goals in the last 6 matches, a hat-trick against Hamilton.
Yeah, a totally unbiased opinion from me, but I've been told if I don't give good commentary to him, I won't see my granddaughter for a month.
Well, he is
so you better do the talking in that department.
Well, he has been outstanding. He missed a large portion of the early part of the season with injury. Well and truly.
Well, he had a groin injury the same as Justin Broadley, and they're both getting treated by the same person at the same time, and their comebacks have been on a parallel. So I wish them both the best of luck because they've missed 8 weeks each, so it's a big chunk.
And one of those injuries which are so tricky to get right at times. Got to be slow and steady about it. So Tristan Esquilin, who hasn't played since round 7, he was unavailable for the match between these two sides in round 8, and then he hasn't played since. Scott Carter, the incumbent, but he's out suspended with yellow card accumulation, 6 yellows. As Mitch Oxborough turning, he's been in wonderful form this season. Nudges the pass in front of Cody Carroll. Runs it down inside the line and hooks it towards the back post. Not quite sure why Caleb Cox got his head to that.
Poor communication at the back, I'd say. Yeah, young Tristan started well, then he went away, and then Scott Carter did extremely well when he come back and won his spot. Now Tristan gets the opportunity to reverse the roles. He's got some ability, the boy, so hopefully he backs himself.
So Oxborough with the corner kick, Majerowski, and up and over the top, just over the head of Josh Piddington, who has been in sublime goal-scoring touch this season. 4 goals for the Magic centre-back.
Yeah, obviously they've been doing a lot of work on their set plays, so that was a good one. The flick over to the back post, always a good one.
He's just 1 goal behind John Majerowski, who scored 5. Mitch Oxborough has scored 6. That's his best season in the NPL Northern New South Wales in terms of goal scoring.
I should imagine Madge's standards are a lot higher than 5, and he'll be desperate to add to that.
Yeah, that front three at the start of the season that everyone was talking about, Vigili, Bradbury and Majerowski, and then you've got to throw in Christian Brymora, who has struggled this year in front of goal. We might get to see him in the second half as Chris Hurley. They're allowing him time and space, and you don't want to give Chris Hurley that kind of space because normally he hits the target from that kind of range, not on that occasion. He has such good technique, Chris Hurley.
He's a quality player. He works great engines. He's a box-to-box player. Looks like Q's got him operating wide on the left today. I like him in the engine room. He's, like I said, box-to-box, but he's got the sweetest left foot going around, in my opinion.
Yeah, don't we remember those goals he scored against Maitland last season? They were something special. A couple of volleys as Cody Carroll able to keep that one inside the line. Andrew Houle on the bench for Broadmeadow. They've got Christian Brymora, Brad McKenzie, Alex Kantorowski. Could he be back from that awful, awful run of injuries? And then David Ifield there as well for the Magic man.
Tough bench, isn't it?
Yeah,
You'd be disappointed being there.
And Cal Bradbury's, of course, out at the moment. So have a look at that depth as here's Camper. Finding space down the left, but Josh Piddington read it well. Oxborough did well to control, and then Majerowski, his first touch, brought it under control, and then Nathan Morris getting across and just thwarting James Vigili and Jordan Jackson. What a tackle that was. He was outstanding last week against Lambton. His coach Q Yallian's heaping praise on him in that 1-0 win. Weston keeping a clean sheet against a side including Braden Crowley, who's been in very good goal-scoring form this year. Houle finds Oxborough on the left. Majerowski, can he wriggle free? He could. He found Broadley. Oxborough on the left boot. There were bears all around him. And now James Vigili. So able just to nudge the pass to Oxborough. All running pretty well on this surface. Piddington just blasts the pass straight into the path of Luke Vigili. Took on Lundy and wins the corner, does he? No, he doesn't. Came out last off Luke Vigili, who scored the only goal in the match between these two sides in 2015, which secured Magic's spot in the finals at the expense of Weston. I'm sorry, Trevor. That's the last time I'll bring it up.
I'll have some sleepless nights again. But they deserved it. They had plenty of play and didn't take their chances that day. So,
and both you and Rob Vigili were on the sidelines that afternoon, and Rob is actually here as well. Both sitting in the grandstand. Here is Lundy. It runs onto him nicely and well saved by Paul Bitts, who did outstandingly well. And now Turnbull chiming in and curling to the back post. And somehow Buswell will then on the volley. If he nudged that back across goal, Chris Hurley was there waiting. Couldn't quite do so, and Magic get away with one there. Weston's build-up was just superb, wasn't it?
Very fast. They hit you quick. Got a lot of young blokes with some speed, and Q's got the system working really well.
Cooper Buswell into the side at the expense of Zach Snedden, who's suspended for 3 matches, so he won't be playing until Weston's round 22 match, the final game of the season. They have 4 matches to go, 3 after this afternoon. Magic still with 5 to play. It's been an odd season in terms of having clubs on even matches, as Buswell threaded through and Matt Hoole cleaning up for the visitors.
It's hard to work out when we've had the driest year in a long, long time, but we've got so many washouts.
It's been weird, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's been you get a lot of rain during a certain period, and then it's been dry for long spells. I know I've been away for a month, but I've been checking the weather here, and it's been beautiful, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Very, very warm and dry.
Can't complain.
Cooper Buswell. And now Jason Tianfu. Wriggles past Wilson, went down on the edge of the box, but really no real cries for a penalty there. It's Morris, lovely ball to Tianfu. Turnbull, try to prod it back to find Lundy.
This is where Weston have to be careful pushing numbers forward. Magic have got 3 up top at all times, and with Vigili's pace, a turnover down there could be dangerous.
Cox.
But they're backing themselves.
There's Cox rolling it wide to Sam Camper, the 19-year-old, and his pass misguided straight to Paul Bitts. 4 clean sheets for him so far in 2019. Kept 10 last year, but clean sheets are down in the competition this year. It's been a long way short of the number which was racked up by keepers last year. I think it was 10 and 9 for the top 2. It's about half that this year, as Oxborough. And Turnbull's clearance is deflected straight off Oxborough, and now Magic with a chance to make hay. Well defended by Weston, and it was Liam Wilson who's been a revelation this year. 7 goals, equal leading goal scorer for the Bears alongside Jason Tianfu. Lundy. And now Chris Hurley has the overlapping run of Sam Camper, who's been doing a mountain of work, the former Dandenong City youngster. As he curls it in. Not a bad ball. There was some space there, but no player in the black and white of Weston. The kit which draws inspiration from Newcastle United's jersey. That's where the Miners came from, the Geordie Miners. Idea to Weston. Over from the UK. I should know that because I go for Newcastle United. So,
well, you've had a lot of sleepless nights too.
It's not good being a Newcastle United fan, I'll say that much.
So you're not back in the Chinese team that Rafa's gone to?
I think some fans might be, but
well,
we'll
I read it. See on Google this morning, he's only gone for a cool 25 million per year.
It's a bit of cash, just a bit. I think Gareth Bale might be joining him. Here's the corner across goal. Buswell was waiting there. There's like a hawk at the back post. Up goes Jackson. Falls for Tianfu. Can he end the drought? Well, he went that close to ending the drought. As close as you could come without ending it.
Round posts, you hit the inside of the post and it rolls across the goal line. Sometimes it defies logic, doesn't it?
Oh, the Dutchman's thinking to himself, what do I have to do to score? Isn't it funny? When
Change his name to Burkamp.
When your luck's not in, your luck is not in. His previous biggest drought was just 2 matches. He hasn't scored in 5 now. What What a huge moment that would have been for Weston, who haven't had a great day in the lower grades. 2-0 down in the 18s and 5-1. They were thumped in the under 20s. Oxborough is dipping towards the near post, but Caleb Cox got himself there. His clearance up towards Tienfu, read by Ryan Ensor, and he's going to drop that right in front of Oxborough. Now towards the back post, unmarked Piddington, and Nathan Morris was there. And I don't know if it was on target, but it didn't matter. That's what Nathan Morris does, reads the game so well. And Piddington almost had his 5th of the season.
I think Nathan might have had himself on the doubles. He'd be disappointed he missed there.
Well, for a moment then I thought it was going to
it was a
nestle in
great
his
ball
own
whipped
net.
in. They're hard to deal with. Defenders facing their own goals.
And you can see Josh Piddington pushing up and unmarked. He's at the top of the box now, just drifting in towards the back post. And here he is again. Piddington rises. Luke Vigili. Surely Lightning couldn't strike twice. It almost did.
They've been very dangerous on the set plays, haven't they? They've had their chances.
Very dangerous. And both sides have. At each end, it's been a really open start. Chances at both ends, as I said, and potentially another high-scoring contest on the way. 5-3 in round 8 it was. Broadmeadow Magic winning in that twilight fixture at Magic Park. Lundy, he too has had a goal drought of sorts.
Weston are getting a lot of room on this left-hand side.
Camper now to Hurley. Swivels and turns. And with the outside of the boot, rolls it to Robbie Turnbull. An experienced campaigner takes on Carroll. And he cuts it across, falls for Lundy. And now Caleb Cox against Broadmeadow Magic, where he scored his first goal in the NPL. He took on the strike, but that one not troubling Paul Bitts. Weston coming into this one this afternoon, having lost just once in their last 9 matches in the NPL. Broadmeadow Magic take that a step further. They've lost just one of their last 14. But they have won only 3 of their last 6. 2 draws and a loss in there. And it did mean that Edgeworth, through matches played as well, they've played a couple more matches. The Eagles have taken advantage and gone to the top of the table, but Magic are still right in the premiership race. If they win this one this afternoon, they'll go to within 1 point of the Eagles with the game in hand. Could they win a first premiership since 2013? It's been a while.
Yeah, well, it's open. There's a few teams there that have got a claim for it now that we're at the business end of the season. Who's got the courage to go forward and get it, isn't it?
What a season it's been. How tight has it been? The top 6 now. Anyone out of those top 6 can make it into the 4. Down to Charlestown, you'd say. It's Caleb Cox. Former Newcastle Jet. Jets youth have been decent at times this season, and Regan Lundy, well, he'll want his time over again. And he's probably wishing that Bar TV aren't live streaming this match, but fortunately, well, here he goes. He runs straight over the top, and Jason Tienfu, well, he hasn't broken the drought.
Offside.
Oh, can you believe it? I was just saying, Regan Lundy made an absolutely horrible mistake against the sideline, and then he basically has picked the pocket of Cody Carroll, and Jason Tienfu just offside.
Defenders dwelling on the ball inside the box when he had other options. I'd say Ruben might have a quiet word to him later.
Just terrific from the young man, Lundy, to go, well, I made a mistake, let's make up for it straight away. What I was saying is, back about 10 years ago, you make a mistake like that, no one would ever see it again. But his mates in the team might bring that one up during the week.
Well, he's got away with it, so he can laugh about it now.
The vision of Tyler Warren tripping over the net, I think that was last season, has not gone away for him.
Is that captured on Bar TV's bloopers?
It was, definitely. There's Oxborough, Majorowski, neat 1-2 played by those two. In the hidden part of the ground, from the grandstand. Weston win possession back, but Buswell didn't get enough on the pass, but Ensor couldn't make him pay. Jordan Jackson and Caleb Cox, both with long hair. Different styles though. Jackson now to Camper. Finds Hurley. And both sides just getting a chance to have a breather. Weston having won just one of their last 8 matches against Broadmeadow Magic. It's been domination from Magic in the recent past. Nathan Morris looking up. This one hanging up in the breeze, and Tianfu had no eyes for the ball and just ran straight into the back of Piddington and gave away the free kick in the end.
Yeah, it's a silly foul. Weston would have won the ball back in a great position there.
You can hear Ruben Zadkovic, the Magic coach, down below, barking orders. Back on the sideline this afternoon after missing that win over Valentine.
So what's the rumours with going round the street, mate? Ruben where?
Well,
who's going to take Magic's job?
Well, I don't know who's going to take the job. I was chatting to him before the game, and he's hasn't got anything locked in, but there's a few options open for him, so we'll wait and see. But it'll be fascinating to see what does happen and who comes in at Broadmeadow Magic. Will they find another high-profile coach?
Well, you know, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but Clayton Zane's gone to Northern New South Wales. Ruben maybe to the Jets. Richo in there, and it's nice and easy.
That's interesting. Vigili hooks it across. Yeah, Anthony Richards, the assistant coach at Broadmeadow Magic. Would he be willing to take on the full-time head coach job?
Well, I've had sources very close and reliable. I was talking to his daughter yesterday, and she said there's something in there. But Richo won't open up.
You heard it first.
But if we start some rumours...
Well, that's what the media do normally, don't they, Trevor? Start the rumours and then it comes true eventually.
I didn't research the truth.
Here is the corner kick for Broadmeadow Magic. Matt Hoole trotting across. Will we see his brother in the second half? Andrew Hoole hasn't played since last month. Hasn't played since round 12 when Magic drew 0-0 with Edgeworth at Jack McLaughlin.
I've heard he's got a foot injury, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Does have a few offers from A-League clubs. Here's the corner kick. Josh Piddington will rein it in. Now Matt Hoole on the angle. Cuts it across. Luke Vigili again in there. Looking for a goal against Weston. He doesn't mind a goal against the Bears. Carroll to Oxborough. Beats a couple. But his pass, not one of his best, and Jordan Jackson reading it nicely. Centre back in top form at the moment. Good turn from Matt Hoole away from Tianfu. And now Jeremy Wilson. His clearance fortuitously going over the sideline because Chris Hurley had the momentum moving forward there. If that stays inside the line, might have been some concerns for Broadmeadow Magic. Ryan Ensor going about his business. And now Jackson hooking up, and Majerowski brought it down, but James Vigili was just offside. He loves playing against Weston. James Vigili, 4 in his last 3, and he scored in 2 consecutive matches. Scored in the draw against Maitland and then against Valentine last weekend.
And missed a penalty.
He did. And it was a close run thing last week against Valentine as well. They only won the match in the last 10 minutes. I was actually watching that one in Inverness. And I think I chatted to CT from memory. I don't remember it that well because I'd just woken up. And, you know, when you've just woken up, you're sort of still a bit delirious. So
I thought Bar TV might have been on in Inverness Hotel.
Here's Lundy. And Vigili may have given away a corner. Well, I thought that was a corner for sure, and the Western fans behind the goal thought so too.
But when the red man dribbles it over the line, I didn't think it was that hard a decision. Maybe his hair got in his eyes.
Near the horns. It's always great coming up here to Weston. Passionate crowd. And the Bears could be back in the finals. With victory this afternoon, they'll be a step closer. I'm not going to 100% back it in, but yeah, I think 4 or 5 points would be enough for Weston from this point forward. 32 points for the season. 36, 37 should get you there. Here's a turn from Houle.
I still think the lower teams down the bottom have got a lot to say in this semi-finals yet. If there's some upsets on the cards, it'll make it quite interesting right to the last game.
And you've got to watch Hamilton, who are a quality side, but just the quality of the competition has been so high this year that you just can't get through to the finals on the players you've got alone. Whereas in the past you might have been able to. You've got to play well together. Yeah. And that's been the difference. That's what Weston have done so well this season.
Well, you look at the bottom three, how many games have been beaten at the dying stages or by the odd goal? You know, like it could have a lot of games. Broadmeadow Magic was a perfect example last week. I think Chile scored in the 84th minute.
He almost kept that one inside the line, then just slipped over. Yeah, speaking of that, Adamstown Rosebud, prime example of that. You look at their results and they have not been thumped. Yet they're sitting third last on the table and a long way from a spot in the top 4. And yet you wouldn't say they are that poor a side. They've beaten Charlestown, they've pushed Broadmeadow Magic and Weston.
See, with the 3-point system that we've had for a lot of years, instead of the 2 points for a win, one's virtually a loss now, a draw, this stage of the year.
Oh, it is, exactly. And that was one thing that hurt Hamilton a few years ago. They went through a season undefeated, and Edgeworth won the premiership,
exactly.
Simply because...
too many draws.
Yep, exactly. Very even match this one. Round 19 of the NPL Northern New South Wales. Weston in second, Magic in third. Weston have played one more match than Broadmeadow, so a win for Magic. It's going to take them up ahead of Weston and potentially further if they win that match in hand. But that match in hand for Magic is against Hamilton Olympic, which is a real tough one for them.
Yep, it's a bit of a local derby, isn't it? The Greeks against the Macedonians, so there's no love lost there.
A local derby, and it's
where's that game at?
That one is at Darling Street, I'm pretty certain. So it is at Darling Street, so that's going to be a real tough one for them. The derby's always tough when you've got one side at the top and one at the bottom, because it can be a real banana skin game for the side up the top. Here's Oxborough. Now Caleb Cox profits after Oxborough was dispossessed. And now Ryan Ensor wins back possession for Broadmeadow Magic, and well, maybe just in two minds there. And Oxborough not happy that he was maybe given a tug there off the ball. Morris finds Buswell. Well, there's some serious skill, and Ryan Ensor is dropping back, and wonderful work from him. Playing at Wollongong last season, back into the NPL Northern New South Wales after previously being with Adamstown and the Jets youth. Just goes about his business with a minimum of fuss. And now Lundy again, not one of his best moments, couldn't keep it inside the line, but the ball is running quick, isn't it?
The ground's hard underfoot. It's got good grass cover, but obviously with the weather we've had, the cold, the frosts and everything like that, it's got hard underfoot.
Very bouncy and bobbly at times, hard to control. The match just probably in a little bit of a lull at the moment after both sides fired out of the blocks with chances at each end. Weston thought they had the lead through Jason Tienfu. He hit the post once and then he was caught offside after prodding it inside.
So this is what I like about Q. You have a look at Weston's formation now. He switches it around a lot. Hurley's come back into the midfield. Jason is out wide on the right, and he's got Chris Buswell out wide on the left, and he mixes his midfield out. They rotate well. They keep the opposition guessing. And it's new to a lot of players, especially the Western players, what Q's introduced, the different systems he brings to the table. He's done a sensational job here. And I'm not biased in my opinion either.
Well, both coaches, I'll come back to that, as James Vigili. He bring this one down off the bounce. Able to knock it back towards Matt Hull, but Tianfu got in front of him. And now Weston, a chance for them to break forward here. They've got 4-on-4 if they can use it well. Cooper Buswell taking his time, dropping it back to Hurley. Looks up and sees Jeremy Wilson. He takes him on, tries to beat him on the inside, but Wilson is up to the task, and it's a corner kick here for Weston. So how good are their set pieces? Jason Tianfu actually just having a word to the referee. Maybe just telling him to watch out on this corner. Jeremy Wilson marking him. That's a tough task for the young man. He's been up to it thus far. Stepping in for John Griffiths this afternoon. 19-year-old came back from that awful injury he suffered last year. It's Chris Hurley. This one hooked in. Bits with the fumble, and the ball has almost dribbled inside the near post. Great scramble from Broadmeadow Magic. And then James Vigili just slipping at the most crucial moment. Now Turnbull under pressure. He had to somehow skew that ball to Morris. Otherwise, Magic had two bearing down on goal. Tianfu has Matt Hull backtracking. Beats him. And now whips it inside the 18-yard box. Beats everyone except Luke Vigili. Knocks it long. Sam Camper well brought down. Him and his brother Jack making the trip north from Victoria to play with Weston this season. Both of them 19 years of age. It's been quite Liam Wilson this afternoon. Finds Lundy on the left boot. Now Chris Hurley. Well, that's hurt Cody Carroll. That clearance, and now Turnbull bumped to ground by Luke Vigili. Those two very experienced campaigners. Vigili,
two youngsters going at it there.
Exactly. Vigili, 29 years of age. Robbie Turnbull, 34. Oldest man on the park. And we're just speaking of the coaches before. Ruben Zadkovich from Broadmeadow Magic and Q Yalians from Weston. They played 23 matches together in the A-League with the Newcastle Jets in the 13-14 season. Nathan Morris hooks it a little too far. It's not often you see him just lose his bearings on the free kick.
That's his mother's side coming out.
We'll let him have a blemish, Trevor, every now and then. Shows he's human. Great to have your company. Round 19 of the NPL Northern New South Wales on Bar TV. Chris Hurley wins the ball from Oxborough. Pounced on it. And pushes into the attacking third with the pass to Lundy, who's been heavily involved. And it's been rocks or diamonds for Regan, hasn't it?
Yep.
That's another rock. But Jason Tianfu was able to bring it down. Camper. And there's Cox. Sam Camper. Now to Hurley. Couldn't break free of the tackle of James Vigili. Hool shifts it onto his left, and now Ensor.
Good football.
Great football from Broadley. Just to open and unlock them some space with the triangle, and now Matt Hool, he pushes this one in front of Oxborough, who will run it down. Very fit. Finds James Vigili. No one around him, and the deflection. It falls for Carroll. Great save from Esquilin. Wonderful reflexes from the young man. 18 years of age, low to his left, and that will impress his coach, Q Yalians.
Do his confidence the world of good too. Back in first grade after quite a spell.
But I think you've got to credit Cody Carroll as well for getting himself in that position.
Yeah, it was great. He attacked the ball, but you'd have to be, if you're Q, I think Robbie won't be too popular for not being aware of what was around him, as all good defenders should know.
James Vigili nudges it round and is unable to keep it inside the line. Robbie Turnbull had the arm raised. Oh, wow. I'll bring you that score in just a second. As Lundy across goal, Piddington cuts it out and wins the goal kick. Well, has the straw broken the camel's back for Valentine? They're down 3-0 against Charlestown. We're talking about how tight it's been between those sides that are in the bottom three in the competition. Maybe not Lake Macquarie, they've been thumped a few times this year, but Valentine and Adamstown have been in plenty of matches. Lake Macquarie had one of those seasons to forget. They've had bright spots. They drew with Broadmeadow Magic, so yeah, maybe I'm being a bit harsh on the Roosters.
Without seeing a lot of Valentine, the day they played here, they had a lot of young players in, and it's hard if you're young to be consistent, so they might be having an off day, but the day I watched them up here, they worked ever so hard for the full 90 minutes.
And it's hard at this point in the season where you know finals is gone. There's a month to go. It's Justin Broadley, now to Vigili. Bending and across goal. That is a simply magic goal from Broadmeadow. Mitch Oxborough diving forward, and his superb season in front of goal continues. That's goal number 7. Magic lead 1-0.
Yeah, it's a good goal, well taken. They got a fair bit of luck there because it was, from where I was sitting, it was definitely a handball. The referee didn't give it, and Broadmeadow take the lead.
Wonderful ball in from James Vigili, and then Oxborough on the stretch, and Magic with a lead. It's Caleb Cox finds Tien Fu, or tried to find him and couldn't do so.
That's a goal to Broadmeadow Magic, making the score Weston Bears 0, Broadmeadow Magic 1.
And Tien Fu now wins a corner, so Weston, this is where Magic have got to be careful, as we know, Trevor. Just after you've scored, that's where you are most vulnerable.
Yep, I've seen it in the earlier game. Weston equalised, and within a minute, Broadmeadow got a goal straight away. Weren't switched on.
I'm going to have a look back at that goal for you, talking about handball. If you do want to have a look back at the replay, you can just go back on YouTube if you want. Hit your screen or just scroll back. Caleb Cox curling it, and Paul Bitts will gobble that one up all day. Yeah, definitely a handball on Justin Broadley in the midfield in the build-up, but the question that I've got over that is, did he have enough time to react?
Yeah, whether referees redeemed deliberate or played the hand, I don't know, but
there was no doubt that it hit his arm, but the question is, and his arm was in an unnatural position, but I don't think he had enough time to react. and the debates over the handball law have been going into overdrive in the last couple of months, especially with VAR.
Yeah.
And
he could have thrown to us, we could have told him.
And I just think that if you haven't got enough time to react, is that a handball? And I don't think it should be. If you've got, 1/5 of a second to react.
Yeah, but you've seen some of the decisions around the world, mate.
Oh, exactly, exactly. And you only have to go back and look at the World Cup last year, where the Socceroos got that penalty against Denmark. There's no way that he had any time to react.
Well, you turn back the clock to 2006, Harry Cool on the goal line. Ball blasted at him 100 mile an hour. Didn't even see it. Yeah, 2010. Yeah, didn't even see it, but he got sent off for it.
Yep, spot on.
But now with the VAR, they slow-mo it, and you can get anything from a slow-mo.
There you go. Our handball rant is over. Broadmeadow Magic, wonderful build-up, wonderful goal. I'm happy to take that. No problems in the build-up. From what I saw as Cody Carroll dispossessed, legally so, by Lam Wilson, who was pointing at the ball to say, yep, I won the ball. The referee accepted that. So final 10 minutes before the break, Magic with a goal advantage, and Mitch Oxborough with his 7th of the season. James Vigili, the provider, and Jordan Jackson nudges that one over the sideline. And maybe, just maybe, Magic have just edged Weston in this first half, in terms of chances created at least. As Hurley just puts Jackson under a bit of pressure here. And in the end, he gets away with it because Majerowski sliding in has given away the goal kick.
Yeah, Magic's lifted a gear, and I think Weston's lost their composure a little bit, so needs calm heads now, someone to settle it down. But they've definitely gone up a gear.
We might get a look at John Mark Offa in the second half, the new recruit for Weston from Avondale. He's been trialling overseas, had problems with his visa, and now he's been picked up by Weston on the live wire, so he could add some spark in the second half. As we said, Magic's bench is strong. Andrew Hull, Brymora there as well, even though he's a little out of form. Luke Vigili finds his brother James. And his younger brother trying to turn away from Sam Camper, who has done superbly well there. But now he's out of position, and who else but Jordan Jackson? Reading the play. Again this week, he's been imperious thus far. Hurley. Buswell. Great link-up play. Chris Hurley now comes to bits. Got stuck under his boot. That is a superb goal from Weston. Absolutely outstanding from the home side. And if you thought Magic's goal was good, that one is right up there as well. 1-1 at Rockwell Automation Park.
I was going to do the goal celebration, but I'll wait for the winner.
I'm going to have to hit you, Trevor. 1-1. What a couple of goals we have seen here at Weston. How good was the build-up there? Chris Hurley, the conductor.
All come from winning the ball back in midfield straight away, the quick turnover, and it was good. It was composed, wasn't it? Could have panicked, could have put it over the bar, could have lost it, but it was good. It makes it for a more exciting game.
So composed from the 23-year-old Chris Hurley. Because the ball just got caught under his boot. He's looking for the pass, found it. And Magic concede just minutes after they open the scoring. Two high-quality sides out there this afternoon. And Regan Lundy's 8-match goal-scoring drought is done and dusted. It's Cody Carroll. Now to Majerowski across goal. There's no one there in a red shirt. And he deserves that, doesn't he? I know we were saying rocks or diamonds for Regan this afternoon. Well, that's a diamond.
Yeah, and he's put himself about a bit today. He's working a lot harder than I've seen him in the last couple of weeks. So it's a good sign that Western players are up for it. But Magic's working hard too, so there's a lot at stake here today.
Vigili. Now to Carroll and Chris Hurley. I'm so happy, Trevor. I've come back for this match. Well, I didn't just come back for this match. I was always coming back yesterday. But
it sounded better the first time.
I'm so happy with what I've got to witness thus far. Really good match of football. Second and third on the table. Two high-quality goals. In terms of the build-up, it was high quality. You could say the finishes were both pretty good as well. As we head towards half-time at 1-1. Defeat or a draw for Magic just puts a little bit of a dent in their hopes for the premiership as Jason Tianfu into the back of Pennington, who held his line, and Tianfu went straight into the back of him, maybe tried to make too much of it in the end.
Yeah, there's never a penalty. Where was Pitto going to go?
Can't disappear, as they say, and now Liam Wilson and the home fans and Robbie Turnbull, they won't be happy.
Unusual to see Robbie argue with the referee.
Well, the intensity and the temperature just going up a little bit before half-time. Matt Hoole searching forward. Oxborough, who opened the scoring in this one. Great ball to James Vigili. His pass into the middle, cut out by Jordan Jackson. Now Vigili to Oxborough. Prods it in front of Majerowski. He tried to place it. Jordan Jackson again there in his 4th season with the Bears. And he is moving into prime form at this point in time. 22 years of age. Majerowski. This is good build-up from Magic, and then Ryan Ensor just overhit the ball. As soon as I say that, there it is, the commentator's curse for you.
Actually, I'm liking the way Magic are playing. They're controlling the ball better. They're moving around a lot better, and Weston are trying to hit them on the break a lot. But to me, Magic are playing probably a touch better in the build-up department.
It was a really good passage of play there from Broadmeadow Magic, and in the end it was an overhit ball from Enzo. It just let the air out of the balloon.
So both teams have got 3 up front. They're pushing high, so it lends itself to a very attacking game.
Remembering 8 goals between these two sides last time they played. 5 to Magic, 3 to Weston. And Mitch Oxborough now with goals in 3 consecutive matches. Vigili can go to that mark as well with a goal this afternoon. Turnbull looks up and says Cooper Buswell. Western fans thought Luke Vigili had his arms all around him. It's Cody Carroll just clipped there by Robbie Turnbull, who apologises. Luke Vigili, his free kick took a deflection, and in the end it may work even better for Broadmeadow. Broadly to Vigili on the angle, he let rip.
I laugh at this new rule that's brought in. Like Chili's arguing with the linesman, he's not 10 metres, but the new rule is if they're standing there and you take it, that's your fault, unless he deliberately plays at the ball. They're only trying to milk the yellow card.
Well, yeah, in the past, It was just kick it into the man, even if he had no time at all to basically get themselves out of that part of the field. Good rule change. They've made a few good rule changes, actually. IFAB, I'll back them in. So they've made a few good rule changes. As that will do it for the opening 45 minutes at Rockwell Automation Park. And what a 45 minutes we have witnessed between 2nd and 3rd on the table. Western Bears and Broadmeadow Magic. Western trying to make it back into the finals for the first time since 2014. Magic, can they keep themselves in the premiership race and try and win that premiership for the first time since 2013? It's been a while. At half-time, it's locked up at 1 apiece. Mitch Oxborough with the opener for Broadmeadow. Lovely build-up, a ball in from the right from James Vigili. But Weston equal to the task with their build-up, and then Regan Lundy thumped it home to end an 8-match goal-scoring drought. Half-time at Weston. Western Bears 1, Broadmeadow Magic 1. Trevor Morris, I can't wait for the second 45 minutes.
Yeah, it should be good. Hopefully it keeps up the same pace and things like that. With Magic's reserves to come on, the quality they've got, make it very, very interesting. So it could be the battle of the fittest today.
You can see them out there. Andrew Houle, Christian Brian Mora, 2 former Jets. Should be a fascinating second 45. We'll catch you in 10. Welcome back to Rockwell Automation Park at Weston. It's round 19 of the NPL Northern New South Wales. And Mitch Oxborough, who opened the scoring for Broadmeadow Magic to make it 1-0, is going to get us underway. Regan Lundy equalised for Weston. And that's where we sit. As we resume, well, we will resume. Just waiting for the referee to make sure everything's all tickety-boo. And we are back underway. Second 45 minutes. Round 19 of the NPL Northern New South Wales. Weston in second, Magic in third. Weston trying to make it back into the finals and keep alive their hopes of winning the premiership. While for Broadmeadow, they want to keep alive those hopes for a premiership as well this afternoon. It's all on the line. And Trevor Morris, at the moment, it's difficult to see who is going to get those 3 points because it's been so even.
I think the first 15 minutes for both teams is critical.
James Virgili is going to win his side a corner. Sam Camper has done a pretty good job for the most part. I know James Virgili set up the goal for Mitch Oxborough, but that was just a lovely ball.
This is where they've looked pretty dangerous too, Magic. Every set move has been close to a goal scoring opportunity. They've done some work on their set plays, obviously.
They've got the tall timber in there. Luke Virgili getting involved, as has this man, Josh Piddington, who almost scored in the first half. Matt Hoole's touch was heavy, and in the end he did really well. He says sorry, but he just got the right boot outstretched to nudge the pass away.
Don't you love it when your second touch is a tackle?
Well, he did well to recover and ensure Weston didn't break quickly, because that's what you were speaking about in the first half. Trevor, you were talking about how quick Weston have been on the break this season. That's why they are so dangerous. Turnbull to Tianfu. 5 matches without a goal. He thought he scored in the first half. Now he delivers to Cooper Buswell, who almost squeezed that one inside the near post. I think you'd say Paul Bitts had it covered, but again,
it's a good lead up. And Jason's dangerous on the 1v1s out wide. And he's got pace, he's got good skills to beat you in the 1v1 areas, so he's one Magic want to look out for, the same as Weston are going to look after James Virgili. So it's a pretty even sort of contest, really, isn't it?
It is. Paul Bitts just slipping and straight over the sideline. And that's the thing, it doesn't matter if Jason Tianfu isn't scoring, if he's setting them up and creating chances, which he's done so often this afternoon. The man who previously been playing 4th Division football in the Netherlands read about Q Gallians coming out here to Australia and wanted to join him, and he's done so. Now Sam Camper, could he have run the ball a little further there instead of playing the ball wide here to Regan Lundy? He had so much space ahead of him down the middle of the park. He's got the task of trying to contain James Virgili this afternoon, Sam Camper. Acrobatic from Lamb Wilson. It's been pretty quiet. I said it in the first half.
I don't think he's had a lot of ball at feet, but his work rate in the park defensively has been still pretty good. So if you're not getting the ball, as long as you're working hard in there, making the opposition's job that much tougher, I think he's done that.
He's another player who has not found the back of the net recently. Weston have been sharing it round. And Nathan Morris has scored a lot in the last few weeks, 5 in his last 6, so he's taken up most of the goal scoring duties of late. Liam Wilson, none in his last 3, and Lundy, none in the 8 previous coming into this one this afternoon, but he did score for Weston. And now James Virgili, well, that should be a card for Jordan Jackson. It should be a card for sure, because Virgili was away down the sideline and he just basically wrestled him. And maybe that's the question John Majerowski's asking. I'm not a fan of cynical fouls, and I think they should be punished with a card, shouldn't they, Trev?
Well, that's what the law says. If it's an attacking position and they've deemed to stop that attacking flow.
Oxborough whipping it in. Majerowski, was there a handball in all that? Well, it won't matter in the end, as Liam Wilson is driving forward. And Tianfu is charging after it. Paul Bitts a long way from goal. But that's what you have to do as the goalkeeper. Sweeper keeper. You have to win the ball when you do that kind of thing, and he did just that. Hurley off the back of Liam Wilson. That was intuitive. Now Piddington hooking it up the line. And Jackson and Majorowski go crashing into the Weston bench. Majorowski back to his feet now. Free kick the way of Magic, a little nudge in the back.
He uses his body so well, Madge, doesn't he? Holds the ball up and brings others into play well.
5 goals for him this season. Just 1 in his last 9 though. Been tough going of late for a lot of the front men for these two sides. Esquilin thought it was almost going to slip through his gloves there, but did really well to hang on to it. Now Liam Wilson gets a touch, pushes it in front of Chris Hurley. And now first time finds Cooper Buswell against the flank. Powers the ball in. Tienfu made the run. And it just bounced up awkwardly. We're talking about the hard pitch. It's been so dry out here in the Hunter Valley.
That's Weston on the quick break again.
They're going to win a corner. And if that ball rolls to his feet all of a sudden, you sense it's a more dangerous situation, don't you? Just bobbled up off the surface just inside the 18-yard box.
Low, hard balls into the box are always dangerous, always hard to deal with.
So Chris Hurley hangs it up. Paul Bitts punches it clear. Cody Carroll allows the ball to continue on its journey with his head, but Weston are still going to... Well, there's a Weston player down at the top of the box here. It's Jordan Jackson. Turn from Liam Wilson. Try and have a look if we've captured it on our replay. Scroll back if you want to have a look. Jordan Jackson not impressed. And I have seen him go down easily before, so...
Stopper on stopper too, no love lost there.
Yeah, I saw him go down in their match against Lambton on Good Friday.
I think they've took it to the VAR.
Quite easily as Piddington over the sideline. And Chris Turner, I've never seen him get so fired up. He was quite fired up and disappointed that Jordan Jackson went down so easily. So, don't want to judge it before I've seen it, but just wanted to point that out. Just add a little caveat there as Josh Piddington gets up and nods it wide. Turnbull is going to hook it back in. Lundy looking for his second. Jeremy Wilson involved there in the mop-up for Magic, but Tienfu has got 2 Magic players around him and somehow gets the ball to Morris, who wins a free kick. Fair enough. He was nudged in the back by Justin Broadley.
I didn't send him acting schools for nothing.
And Broadley, well, I thought it was just a sort of a joking push on Nathan Morris. It wasn't. He was fired up, Justin Broadley.
They're both good mates. They went to school together.
Yeah, he is, and now he's quickly across there to make sure Nathan Morris doesn't get a chance here. There's Hurley across goal. Jeremy Wilson, the man to get a boot to it. And look at the speed here of Cody Carroll. Liam Wilson has to be careful. 2 former academy players with A-League clubs. Cody Carroll, the Jets, and Liam Wilson, the Mariners. They would have come up against each other in the NYL in seasons gone by. Majorowski now to Oxborough. 1 touch, 2nd touch, delivers it straight on to Cody Carroll. And now the pass from Carroll just in front of Oxborough. Vigili. It's nice football again from Broadmeadow. Some 1-touch football from Justin Broadley back to Luke Vigili. Nudges it wide to Carroll. Really enjoying this contest this afternoon. 2nd and 3rd. Here's Oxborough. Couldn't loop it inside the far post. Weston 2nd, Magic 3rd. Just a point separating them on the table. Weston having played 1 more match than Broadmeadow. So they win this one this afternoon, and they are definitely clear of Magic. Even though they've played the 1 extra match, they'll be 4 points clear. Piddington, that's a strong header. And now Majorowski, wide to Cody Carroll. Space in front of him. Jackson coming across, and Jordan Jackson again. there to do the defensive work for Weston. The danger is not going away though. Ryan Ensor lines broadly and off Wilson, so throw in here for Broadmeadow. They've just found themselves a little bit of a good period here, Broadmeadow. Controlling a bit of possession down in the attacking third. Jackson again with the header there. Wilson, and now Buswell. No change in the half-time score, which is 1-1. Oxborough for Magic and then Lundy for Weston. Jeremy Wilson wins the free kick fairly there. Just checking the scores at Charlestown. 3-1, the Blues leading Valentine. So Valentine have fought back after being down 3-0 after 20 minutes, which is good to see because you don't want to see a side have the wheels well and truly fall off this point in the season. Valentine were beaten 9-1 by Broadmeadow earlier in the season, but that was a match where they went down to 10 men inside about 5 minutes.
They lost the goalkeeper that day, didn't they?
They did. Perry Budden was sent off. Tien Fu. Chris Hurley, the conductor in the midfield who set up that goal to equalise for Weston. On that occasion it comes to naught, but Turnbull, little chip and over the top, and he says, why not? I have a strike on goal. And it was blocked by Jeremy Wilson. It would have been nice to see had it not been blocked, whether it was on target, because the height looked decent. Hurley, Tien Fu, he continued the run, Chris Hurley. And Tien Fu, the Dutchman, went down. He was clipped on the Achilles by Luke Vigili, but no whistle from the referee. Wilson has been much more involved in the last 10 minutes or so. Tien Fu looks for the back heel. Wilson again. The young man is doing a great job defensively for Broadmeadow this afternoon in the absence of John Griffiths. Turnbull to Buswell, but Wilson not on the same page.
Yeah, it was a good passage from Weston. Had players making good runs to create space for others. Unfortunately, they couldn't deliver that final ball. Both teams look to me as if they're lining up on identical systems. They got the 6 sitting back. Justin Broadley's doing quite a good job although he seems to be pushing a bit higher this half.
And both with the 3 men up front.
Yeah.
With the hold-up players being John Majorowski for Magic, looking to hold the ball up in the midfield as that central striker, and Cooper Buswell for Weston. But they are so flexible, Weston, because Buswell, you can see, drops out to the left, and then Tien Fu into the middle. Would you say they're the most malleable side in the competition, Trevor, Weston?
Yeah, Q's taught him a lot of systems. He's told him he gets his wide two to stay wide to keep the defenders guessing, and then he gets them to go inside so that he's making it hard for the stopper and the wide man to pick up a man.
No, Damien.
So it keeps players guessing. He's done a terrific job, really.
No, Damien Zane and Edgeworth love to play players in different positions and be flexible as well. They'd probably be up there too.
I took my hat off to Zaney last week. He had young kids I'd never heard of that stepped up to the plate last week and did a terrific job.
And credit to Edgeworth as well, making it through to the round of 16, where Magic went last year. They went down to Bentley at home. Match which was really tight in the first half. So if Edgeworth can get a home match in the round of 16 against another NPL side, tell you what, you'd give him a real red-hot chance. They are right up there. Luke Vigili sits back here for James Vigili. Now Lundy to Wilson. Touches on wide, and Chris Hurley.
Here's a chance out wide if the ball's a bit slow getting to him, but he's dangerous here, one-on-one.
It does arrive, and Luke Vigili. Yeah, very good cover. Wilson! Oh, poor bits. Good stuff from him, because it just took a little deflection. In the end, not... Well, if it took a mega deflection, he was in all sorts because he was diving to his left, but he just had to readjust enough. Jordan Jackson cuts it out in the air. So we head towards the hour mark. 2/3 down, final 30 to go. And we're no closer to working out who's going to win this one. Could James Agili find the answer here with a ball across goal? Morris. And now Chris Hurley just thumps it up the ground. Jeremy Wilson wins back possession for Magic. And this is where the press is needed from Weston. You can see how important Jason Tienfu sees this little passage of the match. They just want to win back the ball and ensure Magic don't get another opportunity in the attacking third.
For me, Weston is sitting far too deep. They're letting Magic dictate the play in there, and which doesn't allow your midfielders to press when you stretch the field. I think they need to close it up a bit more and make it harder, even with the Gillies' pace.
And whose job is it to ensure that they aren't sitting deep?
Well, that's probably Nathan and Jordan Jackson at the back, controlling the shade back there, doing the talking, close the field up, make it shorter, and your midfielders will work better.
What about Tristan Eskel, and should he be telling his defenders to push a little higher as well?
I've noticed he's a quiet man at the best of the time. I think he needs confidence to be the talker and the organiser, but Weston has got experienced men out there. They need to shorten the field and make it harder for Magic so they can press the ball more. Magic, if this stays the way it is, I see Magic dictating the game because they've got more room to work with the players they've got.
And they are just winning the arm wrestle at this point in time, aren't they, Broadmeadow? They've had the better of the chances in this second half so far. Ryan
See, look how deep Western are now. They're nearly on their own 18.
Cody Carroll. Well, how well's he done there? And just as I say that, he's taken the ball. Probably the easiest part of that little passage of play, and he's taken it over the line. He did the hard bit, beating Robbie Turnbull. Jeremy Wilson just lost his bearings there for a moment. It won't come back to bite him. He turns on the ball. I'd say their top young defender, Jeremy Wilson. And if you can lock down a spot in the starting side, could be one of their top defenders in about 10 years' time in terms of his status at the club. Here's Camper. Josh Piddington wins the ball just inside, just outside the 18-yard box, and Oxborough with the quick turn and release towards James Agili, and Esquilin was on his bike. He had to be too. Free kick going Broadmeadow's way. The home side just treading water at the moment, Trevor.
Yeah, I think Weston's getting caught here because Mitch Oxborough's sitting in the hole between the two lines and no one's picking him up. They find Mitch Oxborough there and they've got three up front he can pick out. Weston need to be awake to that.
He's just running the show, isn't he?
Yes, he's doing. And I think Magic are chasing the game more because they've looked like Justin Broadley's pushed higher too.
So Cody Carroll is going to be replaced by Christian Brymora.
Where does he go? Wide or up front?
That is the question. Will they rotate the front three? John Majorowski's been playing centrally. Looks as though Brymora is going to push out to the left where Cody Carroll's been. Does a lot of hard work at Broadmeadow Magic training. Just not finding the goals on the field as Esquilin goes up Australian rules style. Oxborough dropping back.
So Weston's still too slow to close that field up.
Here's Wilson to Vigili. Turns away from Camper, but he's not letting him go, the young man. Trying to wriggle free of the cul-de-sac which Camper was trying to create. He got it to his brother Luke. And his ball in between Oxborough and Majorowski. Morris pushes it up towards the Dutchman. Caleb Cox nicely brought down because it bounced up very high and awkwardly onto the chest. Dropped it in front of Chris Hurley. First time pass to Regan Lundy, the man he set up to score. Weston's first, and Bits, well, did it bobble off the turf there? What has happened there? That was very, very awkward and clumsy from the Magic custodian. Hurley in front of Lundy. Broadley comes across.
He's done a lot of cleaning up, Justin Broadley, in around that 30-yard area.
Former Maitland Magpie and also Lake Macquarie Rooster, Justin Broadley.
He was one of the big cocks, was he?
I'm not even going to go there, Trevor. I'm not even going there. You're trying to make up for CT.
I'll tell him CT told me to say it.
We are going to get CT on the blower in a couple of minutes' time. So he's at West Wall's End. He was giving the West Wall's End boys a bit of a pre-match pep talk. The Bluebells is the corner coming in. Buswell was there at the back post, but Ryan Ensor in front of him. Turnbull. Can he pick out Cox? No, he can't. Too close to Matt Hoole. And you sense not long now until we see his brother, Andrew, is on the bench for Broadmeadow Magic. Can he make a return? A positive return from a foot injury. Jordan Jackson is high up the pitch, and Justin Broadley too eager there.
Hello, the goalkeeper's coming off. He's gone.
He's just getting a drink, is Tristan Escalent. You're trying to scare the viewers because the camera is facing the other end of the ground, Trevor, so...
I'll try and take the whole 360-degree look, mate. Vision and awareness.
So Nathan Morris, the Weston legend.
The second ball's critical here, wherever this ball falls.
Would you go straight at Bits after that mistake he made moments ago? Oh, Mitch Oxborough. How good was that? Flying through the air, he ensured it didn't get any further than just inside the 18-yard box. Cooper Buswell shaped across instead, just nudged the pass.
Justin Broadley again in with the clean-up.
He's coming to the fore, isn't he, in the money minutes in this second half. Caleb Cox, time and space ahead of him. Could have he tried to run a little further forward? He opted against it. And Luke Vigili this time scrambling. Weston all of a sudden, they're on the warpath. Tien Fu straight at Bits, who punched it away. That was more confident. Now James Vigili and Robbie Turnbull came together, but Turnbull won the ball at the final moment. Matt Jarowski won the ball in the air. Camper just lost it. And Mitch Oxborough pushes forward. The pass was just straight, dead eye towards James Vigili. And Esquilin is a long way from goal here. Just loops it down towards Piddington. Turnbull and Vigili going at it on this occasion. Vigili on the opposite side of the field to where he's played much of the match this afternoon. Chris Hurley with a piece of skill there, and then straight at Broadley. Morris looked up and saw Regan Lundy. It just got too far under it in the end, just hung up in the breeze. Cox to Hurley. And maybe a bit of fatigue just in the legs of Chris Hurley. Just under 25 minutes remaining in this round 19 match. Weston second, Magic third in the NPL Northern New South Wales. Could we be seeing these two sides meet in the semi-finals? Maybe even the grand final.
The way it's shaping up, it looks like a game of who wants to win it the most at the moment, doesn't it? Who has the biggest desire? Who's going to turn that run 30 yards to turn a bad ball into a good one? Or who's going to make that desperate tackle to stop a goal?
And Luke Vigili, what a tackle from Jason Tien Fu, and then Justin Broadley sliding along the ground. And look at Majorowski now. It's bodies on the line from both sides. Majorowski to Oxborough. Rolls it in towards James Vigili. And Jordan Jackson just got a boot in. It's a corner for Broadmeadow. Chris Turner is with us. But we're just going to wait and see what happens with this corner kick.
Is he in the makeup room?
I know that CT would love to call a goal. He's been doing it for the last month.
South American style?
And he's just dying to do it again this week. Here's the corner coming in. Well, Jackson's header took an odd deflection off Caleb Cox, I think, in the end, and they hoof it over the sideline. Chris Turner, great to have your company from West Wallsend this afternoon. As we just hang on a sec again, because Josh Piddington is pushing this pass up the line towards Mitch Oxborough. Magic look to build up towards another opportunity. CT, tell us the score at West Wallsend and set the scene for us, Shakespeare style.
Well, the scene is that it's West Wallsend versus Wallsend at West Wallsend, Wembley Park, famously known on Old Boys Day. So what I can tell you is there is a lot of old boys here having a good time, cheering home.
Just hang on, CT. Luke Vigili has a strike at goal and it has deflected wide. Another corner. Continue.
1-0 here, West Wallsend, the home side over Wallsend. The old boys having a great old time, and around the grounds, 3-1. Actually, I'll come back to that after the corner.
So Magic with a corner kick. Is he watching this live on Bar TV?
Sounds like it, doesn't it?
How good's this? Here's the corner kick from Magic. Jordan Jackson again, imperious in the air. He's going to another level this season. Oxborough. Now Hoole to Majorowski. Holding it up on the edge of the 18-yard box. Jackson. Clearance is a decent one, but Magic is still probing. And the referee's saying that Weston are ready to make a change. It's Jean-Marc Offer, who is going to come on. And Offer replacing Regan Lundy, who scored the goal for Weston in the first half to equalise. So what can Offer bring to the table? The young man has been playing in Sydney and Victoria in the previous 3 seasons. Inside the final 20 minutes, and we're still waiting for Andrew Hoole as well. Majorowski back to Oxborough, and now a chance for Liam Wilson to probe forward. He drops it in front of Offer, but his touch was too heavy, and Justin Broadley had allowed him enough time to get back. And Jeremy Wilson's been collected late here by Cooper Buswell. Frustrations just boiling over a little bit here. CT, I'll bring you back in. Tell us what you said to the West Wallsend players pre-match. How'd you pump them up?
West Wallsend players a joke before the game, but it wasn't actually a joke. I bought new shoes, and I bought them off a drug dealer this morning, and I don't know what he laced them with, but I've been tripping all day.
There you go.
And you even have to laugh at that one. And certainly the West Wallsend players did too. I put them in the right frame going out. This game's got a bit of heat in it here as well, and it's far from over, and great to see a great crowd here in the second division.
Well, what a great afternoon for local football. Weston Magic here. Big crowd at Weston, and the Wallsend Derby. Don't you love the Wallsend Derby in the second division?
We do, and the crowd are loving it. And also over at Charlestown, it's currently 3 for Charlestown over Valentine Phoenix 1. So some good football going on around the grounds this afternoon, man.
Well, CT, I'll look forward to being alongside you next weekend for another big weekend in local football. So you have a good afternoon.
You too. All the best, guys. See ya.
There you go, Chris Turner bringing us up to date with that Wallsend Derby at Wembley, Johnston Park. Here at Weston, it's all locked up at a goal apiece. Here's Offer. The new signing for Weston. Plays the 1-2 with Camper. Piddington back. Knocks it up the line to Oxborough. Matt Hoole just cut underneath the ball, looking to drop it in front of Brian Mora. Jordan Jackson. Body on the line from both sides. Just the intensity. It's been so impressive, hasn't it? Finals-like intensity from both of these two sides. What were you saying before? Describing the match as who wants to win it more.
Yeah, it's coming to that. Obviously, Magic want to. They've pushed. They're playing a front 2 at the moment, so with Oxborough in the 10, just floating around in the 10, so They look like they're chasing the game, that's for sure.
So Magic with 4 matches to play after this. Here's Brymora on the turn. Just 1 goal this season for Christian Brymora in 13 appearances. It's been a really tough season for him in front of goal. But he's doing the work at training. First to get there, last to leave. Buswell. Off air does have the pace, but not the pace to run that ball down.
So CT sounds like he's having a good time out there.
He does, he does.
Is the replay at Crystal Palace, did he ask that?
I will say this, being away for a month and coming back here, it does make you appreciate what we do have here, and what a special afternoon this is. You know, the weather is incredible. We've got an incredible view out to Mount Sugarloaf here at Rockwell Automation Park, and wow, what an afternoon for the Bears and Magic, and still no closer to knowing who's going to take the 3 points. Could Andrew Hull be the man to make the difference? He's heading out there for Magic. Hasn't scored a goal in the top flight here in Newcastle. He hasn't been playing since 2012. He did score that year for the Jets youth against Lake Macquarie. Played for Magic in 2011. That was under a bloke called Damien Smith. And he scored 4 goals that season.
Looks like he's gone straight up into the front line, so good touch.
Brymora to Vigili. Andrew Hull just making the run towards the middle of the box, but the delivery from Vigili was just too high, and his brother tracks back and hooks it in. Andrew Hull was waiting there like a predator at the top of the 6-yard box. Ball just didn't arrive in the end.
And another thing, Ben, games like this, it's how big an impact your subs make when they come on, if they can change the game or turn it. And definitely you look at the bench here, they've got some pretty good impact players that have just come onto the field.
He's back for the first time since round 12, back from a foot injury, Andrew Hull. Vigili had possession momentarily, Turnbull with a clearance away. Hull to Broadley. Now here is Matt Hull. 2 sets of brothers out there for Broadmeadow Magic. The Hulls and the Vigilis. Makes it a little bit easier to call, doesn't it?
Lucky they're not as hard to tell as the Swans.
Yeah, exactly. We just say Swan.
Swan 8 and Swan 9, isn't it?
Exactly. Off it. Ran into very much a no-through road there. And Magic giving away the corner with, I should say, the throw. Josh Piddington there coming across. Weston just struggling at the moment to get out of their own half. Off there now has 3 men just swarming him. And he did enough there to hang on to possession and win the free kick. And Jackson Burston has gone out there to replace Cooper Buswell in the meantime. 1 goal for, a couple of goals I should say, for him this season. Hasn't scored since April though. Did score against Valentine in that incredible match here, where Valentine scored in the last minute after he scored for Weston. Andrew Hull now to Brymora. It's been a tough season for him, and he almost found the potential winner there. And maybe a man with more confidence would have hit it more confidently, because he just didn't quite get the purchase he would have liked. But he wins a corner, which is the next best thing.
Weston scrambled well there, but the way I see it, Broadmeadow have kicked up a gear, and they're certainly hold control of this game at the moment.
Well, how big would a goal for Brymora be? Or even Andrew Hull? We know he hasn't got himself on the score sheet yet for Magic in terms of the run-in to the finals.
They're all human beings. They need their confidence. So, you know, when you've got confidence, you can do a lot of things. And it's the opposite if you're lacking confidence. Here's a chance here for Weston on the break.
Huge chance. 4-on-2 potentially. And Tien Fu straight into Ryan Enzor. Credit Enzor for his work defensively. Oxborough now. So all of a sudden Weston just rushed forward, and Robbie Turnbull cuts it back to off-air. Camper. And now Wilson. So open this one. Do not go anywhere, because this is going to be a grandstand finish. Both sides wanting to win. There's no settling for a draw this afternoon. Weston second, Magic third, and Caleb Cox pushing forward. Interestingly, Magic have struggled away from home this season. Weston at home
Here's a chance.
have struggled. Cox pushing into the box. 11 against 11. Brian Moore there, and somehow he squeezed in a shot. Paul Bitts, Reese the throw, out to Oxborough. Had Andrew Houle with him, decided not to use him. He uses his brother Matt. Houle on the turn, quickly to Oxborough. You just see how quickly Andrew Houle used the ball there.
Yeah. And you can see before the ball comes, he's looking around. His vision and awareness is obviously comes from a higher level, so he's used to it.
Has got a couple of offers on the table, reportedly from clubs in the A-League. Andrew Houle. And a goal in this one wouldn't hurt. We saw the goals he scored last year for the Mariners. A couple of really special free kicks. Now James Vigili. Andrew Houle is unmarked. And Vigili, in the end, tried to curl to the back post to Brian Mora. And Houle is saying exactly that to Vigili, saying, I was unmarked. No one around me. Just outside the 6-yard box. Off there. Hurley, and now Caleb Cox. Just picking the passes again. Chris Hurley, but Caleb Cox couldn't do likewise. And Luke Vigili just looked up and took on Cox, who was just sleeping a little bit. Now James Vigili. It falls.
Offside.
For Oxborough. And there's a handball against James Vigili. So it's not an offside, it was a handball.
I think it would have been. The linesman had his flag up too.
Off there. So both sides with disallowed goals now. Tien Fu was offside in the first half when the ball was in the back of the net off his boot. And now for Magic as Paul Bitts gets plenty of height on his clearance. Turnbull.
I think he got airsick. I've never seen Robbie get that high.
I tell you what, he came down with altitude sickness. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Like going to Everest, isn't it?
It's Turnbull. At least I laugh at your jokes, Trevor.
No one else does.
Well, I don't laugh at CT, so Oxborough. And Nathan Morris with a high boot, which is going to earn Magic a free kick. So
It's end stuff, isn't it, Ben?
it is. I'm going to say the best match I've watched this season.
Well, it's the best one I've watched this weekend.
Well, here is Andrew Houle on the left boot and just pushed it wide. Esquilin probably had it covered. Credit the keeper. He just picked his spot, Andrew Houle, and almost pushed Magic into a 2-1 lead. Yeah, Weston at home this season. They've won 4 of 7, but if you look competition-wide, they're 6th out of 11 sides in terms of results at home. Magic, on the other hand, away from home, have won just 2 of 6 on the road. Weston and Magic in the opposite situations have been outstanding. Here's Tien Fu. Dazzling footwork again, but there were just too many Magic players. Wilson, I think it was closer. Well, we thought it was closer than what it actually ended up for Liam Wilson.
He scored a couple of screamers from that range this year, especially here. He's mainly on his right foot, but
Yeah, the
I think the
barber.
left one's only for putting cigarette butts out.
The barber, Liam Wilson. None in 3 for him. Off there. And Hurley and Camper, just a bit of miscommunication. Hurley was calling Camper in. In the end, the young 19-year-old did outstandingly well to win the ball back for Weston. Caleb Cox distributes wide for Tien Fu, who has Vigili backtracking. And Luke Vigili has the pace and the guile to win a free
I
kick.
thought that was a fair foul.
Yeah, used his body well. Used his body really well there, Luke Vigili.
The shoulder into the middle of the back doesn't work, does it?
No, it doesn't. Not normally, at least.
But Jason's first touch let him down there when that big touch. He was in a good position there to set something up.
So final 6 minutes now. Great to have your company. It just amazes me these days the amount of people that watch the NPL on Bar TV Sports, from the increase that we've had since the first year that I was doing this back in 2015. Just amazing. We've got about 450 people watching live right now. Just the interest in the local competition is fantastic. And that's with 2 matches being played at the moment. So if you've got a standalone match, grand final, semis, you know, the mind boggles as Tien Phu. Now to Chris Hurley. Tien Phu across goal. Off there was arriving late. Matt Hoole down towards the byline. A reminder that Wednesday night, Maitland up against Central Coast Mariners in the FFA Cup locally at Maitland Sports Ground. If you haven't got a ticket, as Offair wins a free kick for Weston, if you haven't got a ticket, you can watch it on foxsports.com.au or download the app KO. They have a 14-day free trial if you haven't already used up the 14 days, and you can watch it live from Maitland Sports Ground. Cannot wait for that one. That should be a really interesting match of football. Yep.
Last week, if it's any indication of last Wednesday night game, they have 27 goals. 2 4-3s.
Yep.
2 extra time.
Oh, how good.
It's great.
How good was it? Caleb Cox bending it. Brian Moore's header. And it's going to be a corner kick.
Well, what do we got? About 5 minutes to go. Now's as good a time as any to score, isn't it?
Exactly. We spoke about before the match 4 years ago. These two sides met here at Weston. Just a couple of rounds left on that occasion. Magic won, and they took Weston's spot in the finals. The winner here goes a step closer. Curled in. Offair was rising, but the ball always was travelling up and over the top of him. Wilson. He hooks it back in. Morris is there. Arms were flailing. Jackson to Hurley. Dribbles straight to Paul Bitts. Got to go quickly here, and Paul Bitts
looking for Vigili on the break.
Just thumps it. Got his shin pad to it, I think, in the end. It got plenty of purchase. Andrew Hoole looking for an option. Piddington. You don't see him out muscled too often there. And in the end, he recovered well to win the ball back after Burston got in front of him. Throw here for the Bears. So Magic had that good period probably about 5 minutes ago. Now it's Weston's chance, if they are good enough. Magic sitting a little deeper now. Morris sees Offair. Does he have the pace against the tiring Luke Vigili? He beat Broadley easily, and Offair just let rip. And
you don't mind that. He hit the target, so you're always a chance if you hit the target.
Well, he did, and a metre or two to Bitts' right, and it was going to be a little more interesting. He loses his footing again, so it is slippery out there.
I think he's got his slippers on.
Not much grip in the studs. Ground is, as you said, hard underfoot and not much grip, as evidenced by the slips from Bitts and a few players this afternoon. James Vigili.
He's trouble.
He's so central, and Sam Camper has got some work to do. Nathan Morris, the experience. Nathan Morris and Vigili. Gee, we got a good angle of that. It was always curling wide, but for a moment then, you just thought it was going to find its way inside that far post.
It's good defending there because he made Vigili go wide at the goals, made the angle harder, helped his goalkeeper out a bit there.
4 goals in his last 3 against Weston. Could have made it 5 in 4. He scored in his last 3 against the Bears.
Who wants it?
That is the big question. And we know both of them do. Who is going to get it is the real question.
It's opened up a bit of space because Magic is sitting players higher. Weston's got the chance on the quick break in the middle.
Jackson. Long he goes. Burston. Was he tugged by Piddington? Had the arm around the chest. Referee waves it away. Ensor to Oxborough. Now Andrew Hull chiming in, but let the ball run on, and Sam Camper mopping up for the Bears. Hull towards his brother, found Vigili. That was James to Andrew Hull. Drops it back to Justin Broadley. Rolls it to Enza. Ryan Ensor finds Hull. Had the run from his brother Matt. Now he finds him. Great, well, it was a great ball, but Hull was just offside. Wasn't by much.
Look close from here. I thought his run was really good. Just mistimed it a touch.
Not long now. And a share of the points is probably what each side deserves from this one this afternoon. Because it's really hard to say that either side has deserved all 3 points. It'd be harsh on the loser. Brian Moore coming across. Off it. Look at the spins from the youngster, and wins the free kick. He's won a few late here because of his skill on the ball.
Turn, or?
Well, it was.
I'd be giddy trying something like that.
Degree of difficulty very high. Quality of the skill outstanding. Good to have him in the competition. He's only going to get better and better the more he gels with his teammates. He'd been trialling overseas, had visa problems. Now he's come back to Australia. And now Nathan Morris. Well, there's a man who's gone down. It's Jordan Jackson. Not the first time he's gone down this afternoon. And the referee said nothing doing. So we're into stoppage time. Round 19 of the NPL Northern New South Wales. The beginning of the final month of the competition. 4 regular season rounds to go. We have got a wet weather catch-up round in there as well. The end of August will bring the end of the regular season. Oxborough to Brian Moore, who is offside. And the free kick will come back for the free kick for the Bears. In a draw, not great for both sides, because it means that they potentially hand the advantage to Edgeworth in the race for the premiership. You'd say they do. Magic with a game in hand on the Eagles. It'll be a 3-point gap, and Brian Moore has been cleaned up here by Liam Wilson, it was. And that is the first card of the afternoon.
I think there was one earlier. I forget who got one. Someone up this end got one.
Maybe the second, yeah.
It was on Pitto, I think. They hit Pitto. But fair enough, that was a foul, but I didn't think it was a yellow card. And I think we give away far too many yellow cards for solid tackles like that.
And not enough for cynical fouls.
Yeah, the 1v1s in the attacking positions and things like that. That was just 2 blokes going for the ball tough.
Oxborough hangs it up. Is there a corner here for Broadmeadow? No, there isn't. And Magic fans are filthy.
I think they're inviting me round for tea tonight, somehow.
Putting on a lamb roast tonight, Broadmeadow, at the Duke. That's where they head back to post-match. Good feed there. Andrew Hull to Ensor. Now Broadley, Cox was barreled in there. It was like he was in a washing machine. And off air, things are happening for John Mark off air and Weston. Here's Liam Wilson. Well, it's just bobbled up off the surface. And maybe in the first couple of minutes, he brings that under control. But he's just fatigued and it's bounced up awkwardly. It's just a hard pitch, isn't it?
Well, the ground's rock hard. Everyone could see that bobbled up near hit him on the knee, I think. But a little bit of composure there. He could have slipped it into the other striker, unmarked, empty net. But it's easy from up here.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a stalemate between Weston and Magic for the first time since 2016. These two great rivals in 2019 go unseparated, and wow, a really, really good match of football. The result means Weston lie 2 points off top spot and the Edgeworth Eagles. While for Magic, they sit 3 points below Edgeworth, but they do have a game in hand. Weston don't have a game in hand on Edgeworth, so that's a 2 point gap. Magic need to win their catch-up match, which is against Hamilton, if they are to lock it all up with Edgeworth. But there's plenty more to come in the remainder of the season. Full-time at Rockwell Automation Park. Both goals in the first half. Mitch Oxborough for Magic. And for Weston, it was Regan Lundy. Finishes full-time. Broadmeadow Magic 1, Weston Bears 1. Trevor Morris really enjoyed that. Even though the second half produced no goals, some scrambling defensive efforts from both sides.
I thought it was a high-quality game. Both teams wanted it desperately. You could see by the effort and the attitude out there. There was goal-mouth action. It had everything. I take my hat off to both teams and both sets of coaches. It was a great game.
Has that changed with Julie just lying down there on the turf? No, it's Ryan Ensor. Ryan Ensor. Absolutely stuffed. You can see he's run his socks off out there this afternoon. And, well, we've seen why. It was just an end-to-end match of football. Bring us more of this.
Oh, it was great. And I liked it because both teams had the courage to go for it. And they weren't sitting back waiting for someone to do it. They both stepped up and they said, if it's got to be me, if it's got to be, it has to be me. And I like that attitude from both teams.
Yeah, and can we credit both coaches, Ruben Zadkovich for Broadmeadow Magic and Q Yalians for Weston?
Oh, I think so. It's the attitude they bring to the club.
So often we see sides look for a point in that situation and not try and lose the match. Well, both sides tried to win it this afternoon, even in the final minutes, and credit to them. Outstanding. Well,
I don't think you could say there was a bad player on the park then. I think they all stood up.
No, exactly. And both goals were quality from each side. It wasn't a mistake which caused the goal. Maybe you could look back and say, well, defensively there were errors, but they were both quality goals with quality build-up.
Well, you look at, and I know I'm biased, I've got Western blood coming out through my veins, but the goal-mouth action in Paul Blitz's goals, like one's hit the inside of the post, roll on the goal line. How that never went in, I'll never know. And a couple on the inside. Weston, on the other hand, they desperately defended in their goal mouth when I looked for sure Magic were going to score. So I don't know what more you want in a game when you look at that. It was very, very good. A lot of talented players out there.
Oh, precisely. Loved every minute of it. Just remember that on Wednesday, Maitland up against the Mariners in the FFA Cup. If you want to get tickets, they're still available. That one at Maitland Sports Ground, Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. And if you can't get there, make sure you get it on foxsports.com.au, or you can get KO Sports. That's the easiest way to do it. On just download the KO Sports app and use that 14-day free trial if you haven't used it. Now, next week, round 20 of the NPL Northern New South Wales, Lambton Jaffers and Broadmeadow Magic at Arthur Eden Oval. That's next Saturday at 2:30. That one should be a really interesting spectacle. Then it's Edgeworth and Weston the week after. Then we've got the Hamilton Magic Derby. And then the final round. Isn't it incredible? It's almost upon us, Trevor. Final round. Hasn't it gone quickly? That's what happens when life's good. Wow. Well, thank you for your efforts this afternoon. You were terrific. I think you're better than CT and Smudge. No, they can have it, mate. My budget just put Bar TV back 10 years, I've been told. Oh, exactly. You're too highly sought after. Thanks. Especially when you go overseas trips and things like that. Well, thank you, Trevor, and we'll catch you soon. Full time it finished at Rockwell Automation Park. Weston Bears 1, Broadmeadow Magic 1. If you missed it, it's worth watching back. We'll catch you next week.